scented plant burger. what what is going to be next, Gary? Now we're getting scented candles at our fast food place.
I don't know, but I don't think I'd want to have I want my candles to be sexy, or I want them to smell good. Okay, I want I don't want to smell muss. I don't want to smell a hamburger. I want to smell like orange blossom, or cherry, or something. Not a hamburger. Come on. Well, this woman, 36 years old, still living at home. She gets so upset because her parents says, we're not paying for that frickin' cell phone you're always on. So they have it turned off. So she calls the police on them and says, hey, my parents turned my phone off. Could you imagine what probably the police officer said to him?
All I can say is, let me process that for a second. Wow. So anyway, the lady's living in her parents' basement. She's spoiled rotten, obviously, and the parents are fed up, so they shut off the phone. So she shows her gratitude of 36 years of them probably feeding her, putting a roof over her head, paying all her bills, by calling the cops on her. And here's the thing, that is so childish, because what if the cops really would do something? Now what would she do? Now she wouldn't have her parents in person to help her or pay for the rent or anything. That is just so hateful and spiteful to the person that was helping them.
Well, another thing, too, a lot of people don't realize, let's say you have a friend and you let them spend the night. Do you know they can say the next morning, I'm not leaving?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. I know that. I had that happen to me before.
And you know what? So you think, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to support you. And they can say, well, I don't have no place to go. I'm going to stay here. So you call the police, and then the police come. Now, I don't know about every state. I know it's that way in Washington, Oregon, and California. But here's what happens. You call the police, and they look at you, and they go, well, we can't do anything. That's a court matter. You got to file court papers. And then you ask the officer, like off the side, well, how long will that take? Oh, if you're really lucky, maybe 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, if you're not sure you want that person or anybody in your house, including a girlfriend you just met that night, think about it. They don't have to go in the morning if you let them spend 24 hours in your house.
I got news for you, Gary. That same law is right here in Ohio, too. And I actually had that happen to me a long time ago, about 12, 13, 14 years ago. But there was a couple and their grown son, and they didn't want to leave. And I was like, wait a minute, but it ended up being bad. They wouldn't leave. And it come to a point, I was going to have to throw them all out the window. But the whole police department was there, and they heard it going on, and I was about to throw them out the window. Next thing I know, I had to leave my own apartment. I had to leave my own apartment in my name. It was crazy. But he told me the laws. And the thing is, you can go get an eviction, and they could just wait that one out. Then the next one, it costs you money.
Oh, so you go to an attorney for eviction is going to start out around $2,500. And then,
right.
and if they show up and contest it, now you're probably at $5,000 to have somebody evicted. That's
right.
Scary. And now, I end of that subject, please.
Yeah.
Now, a newly unearthed fossil in South Africa turned up a turtle that was the size of a full-size car, and it was built for battle.
Wow, that is. Is that the one that had horns on it? Maybe
I don't know.
Some kind of spikes?
It doesn't.
Spikes?
It doesn't say, but it says that it's the size of a full-size car.
Wow, that was a big turtle. Let me tell you. Well, everything was huge back then. Everything was, but so why wouldn't turtles be?
I don't know.
Probably look like a Volkswagen.
Well, another thing is really interesting. A near-naked man breaks into an apartment and then uses the drapes to cover up when the police come to arrest him. But while he was waiting for the police to come and arrest him, he decided to cook a steak, have a glass of wine, and watch a little bit of TV.
Well, he was making himself at home. I wonder if it was the police chief that got fired.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Oh, boy. Some people, I'll tell you, some people got some nerve, I'll tell you.
Well, I don't know. You know, what's really bad is years ago, I had somebody, when we were living in Tacoma, come, walked into our house and sat down on my reclining chair.
What?
And asked, what are we having for dinner? I never seen this person in my life.
Who does
I asked
that?
my wife, I asked my kids, do you know who? No, we never saw him before. We had to call the police. It turned out he was on meth really bad. And he got our house confused with the neighbor's house.
Well, obviously, he must have got your faces confused with them, too. That is just bizarre. I had to be like, you guys must have been like scratching your heads like, what is this going on here? Gee.
Well, no worse again, because we didn't live in a good side of Tacoma. I mean, when we decided to buy a house and move out of Tacoma, I was renting a house at that time. I remember I was watching a TV show called Rockford Files. And I was in the bedroom watching it, on the TV. And all of a sudden, the window blows out.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I realized there was a drive-by shooting. I mean, they shot up a lot of cars. When the police got there and, and started taking pictures and measuring and all this stuff, they said I was a matter of an inch or two of being dead. Because the way the bullet came, if I would have been sitting up any higher in the bed, I wouldn't be talking right now. And that was enough, I decided, no, it's time we buy a house. And we moved out kind of in the country.
Yeah, that's what I always say. People don't realize you can't take life for granted. You could be sitting there, just perfect example, what you just said, in your bedroom, minding your business, watching TV, a drive-by shooting, you catch a stray bullet and you die in your own bedroom, minding your business. That's just so wrong.
And it does happen. There's been cases.
Oh, yeah.
I remember about a year ago, a woman got shot in the head by a drive-by shooting. They were just going up and down the neighborhood and shooting the guns. And, if you happen to be the unlucky one, and not just that, they wiped out a lot of cars. I mean, with bullet holes, blowing out the windows, you name it. It was really a bad situation. But that was going on in North Tacoma at that time. That was enough where I told my wife the next morning, we're going to buy a house. And that's what we did. Well, you know what? It just a matter of, like about 15 minutes, we got our guest coming on, David Pierce. He was born in Salt Lake City, Utah. He was the oldest of 4 children. But he got infatuated with a TV show, which I think a lot of people did, called Bewitched. And we're going to be talking about that here. I'll have to admit, I watched a lot of it. And I watched it when it was actually on the air for the first time. I also, watched it in reruns, and it's still on reruns today. But, I could never figure out how they replaced Darren with another Darren and got away with it, other than maybe it was magic. Maybe David Pierce can tell us how they managed to replace her husband.
Yeah. Wasn't one of them named Dick York and the other one Dick Sargent?
Speaking about Dick York, our guest the other night, the guest we had on the other night about the Battle of L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know who that was, right?
Yep.
Jeff what?
Krause. Jeff Krause.
He grew up with Dick Sargent's, went to school with his son.
Oh, wow.
So,
small world.
Yeah. And isn't that? I mean, here, we found that out because he posted something about, that he saw what the show was tonight. And he's, kind of posted up on there for people to see. I went to school with his son.
Now, that is amazing. And I remember watching that show when I was just a little kid. And I used to say to my mom, "Can you wiggle your nose and get me a couple new toys here?" Because she used to wiggle her nose and make things appear. She goes, "I can't do that."
Well, you know what? I wish my wife would have been able to wiggle her nose and have all the housework done. occasionally on that show she would do that, and then she'd feel guilty, and then put it back the way it was, and then physically went through and cleaned the house. I mean,
I know. I always used to like when her, I think it was her cousin. She played two parts. The black-haired one, she was like the more wild one.
Yeah, the hippie. She was the hippie.
Yeah, she was the wild one. And then of course, Agnes Moorehead. She always butted heads with either Dick or Darren that was on there.
Yeah, I don't think she liked Darren.
No.
Yeah, but you know why? Because he was immortal.
That's right. He was immortal. And you know who else was on there? That comedian. He was. I can't think of his name now. He was funny.
Bombay. I like the guy who played Bombay. Dr. Bombay.
Yeah, I know you mean. This guy was named Jerry, or was it Jerry? I can't think of it now. But anyway, he was comical, and there was a lot of comical people. They had some good. They were pretty funny, some of them shows.
Well, it was on for a long time, and honestly, I don't even know why the original Darren left, and maybe we'll find that out tonight. I always was curious, how could they do that? One season he's on, and then I'll be honest with you, I like Darren, the original Darren. I never could get into the other Darren.
Right. I think maybe he got ill or something. But the guy I was thinking of was Paul Lynn. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah, and not just Paul Lynn. Paul Lynn's sister would be on the show quite often, too. Because she also
I didn't know that.
She was a comedian and an actress. Now you just learned. You didn't. Now you know.
Yeah.
Send me a check. Send me a check. Make sure it doesn't stretch like the last one.
Would you rather them stretch or bounce?
Well, if they stretch, you drop them there. Yeah, they could bounce too at the same time. So, yeah, I want a paper check.
You got it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it's in the mail already.
Yeah, but next time, don't use Howard Hughes' his name, okay?
All right. I guess I can get by with using it one time anyway. I'll put Musk or something on it. How about that?
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll be back in about 2 minutes with James with the news, and then we will be getting a hold of David Pierce, and we're going to be talking about my favorite show at the time, Bewitched. So stay tuned. A little bit different tonight. We're kind of well, it is kind of. We're talking about witchcraft, so it kind of fits in. So we'll be back.
And he drove his motorcycle that fast. He drove a big chop hog with a gang colors jacket, and he ran down citizens for laughs. He had an old lady named Petula, packed an automatic 45 gun. They had just come up from California, where they shot 6 cops for fun.
Jake thought he was the best there was. Down the interstate he'd roar, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff. They all called 104, 104.
It was late on a Thursday evening, and Jake, he was feeling kinda mean, 'cause he'd just run out of his favorite drug, the one called amphetamine. So he sauntered up to Petula, and he said, "Say, baby, let's split. There's a little gas station on down the road that might be fun to hit." So they drove up to the station, and they both jumped off and takes a ride. They were up to derision at Jake's decision, as they both saw him to the inside.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News. I'm James Creechbaum.